A merchant had started building a temple beneath the trees on the outskirts of a town. Every day, the carpenters and the workmen used to go into the town for their midday meals. Hello and welcome to my channel. I started reading the Tales of Panchatantra written by Vishnu Sharma. And today I start reading the story of the monkey and the log. So let's continue. Now, one particular day, a troop of wandering monkeys arrived on the scene. One of the carpenters who was in middle of sawing a log put a wedge in it to prevent the log from closing up and then went off. The monkeys started playing on the tops of the trees and the high structures without a care in the world. One poor monkey, not destined to live long, sat down on the half split log, caught hold of the wedge with his hands and started pulling it out. And behold, the wedge came out of all of a sudden and the lock closed in, but not before the monkey's legs had been trapped in the gap. He was instantly killed. And so, continued Kartak, that's why I said that you should never meddle in other people's business. And our business is to eat whatever had been left by the lion. What? Retorted Damnak. You think that our only concern is to find food? I don't agree with you, for they say it's despicable crows that live off whatever is available for eating. Anyway, said Katak, now that we are no longer in service to the king, why should we bother our heads about it? No, retaliated Damnak. Don't talk like that. For a man who is not a minister becomes one when he serves the king well. But even a minister can be removed from his post if he fails to serve him well. The servant who pays attention to what pleases or displeases his lord can even get the upper hand over a wicked master. And how can a wise man fail to handle a king when he sees that snakes, tigers, elephants, and lions can be brought under control one way or another? So, under the circumstances, what do you propose to do? Asked Kartak. Today, our master and his court are scared out of their wits, replied Thamnak. I shall take it upon myself to find out the cause of their fear. Then I shall use one of the six diplomatic methods, which are to make peace or war, to attack or to entrench, to take protection under a powerful ally, or provoke a quarrel between one's opponent. But how do you know that our master is scared out of his wits? Asked Kartak. You don't have to know anything, replied Thamnak. As Manu said, the thoughts of others can be ascertained in their facts, their gestures, their speech, and the twitching of their eyes. And so, through the power of my intelligence, I shall free the terrified Pinglak from his fear and at the same time get back my position as minister. But you don't know what service means, said Katak. How then will you win him over? Well, said Dhamnak, while I was playing on my father's lap, I listened to the fables told by Mahatmas, and since then I have remembered the substances of them and have stored them in my mind. Listen, brave men, scholars, and those who know how to serve, only these collect golden roses on this earth. And to serve a king who fails to appreciate the merits of the learned is like ploughing a barren land. But do tell me, said Kartak, what will you say to him to begin with? Dhamnak said, whatever I say must be said at the right time for. Even if Brihaspati himself speaks at the wrong moment, he will be insulted. Kartak said, but It's so difficult to influence kings. They are hard and heartless as the mountains and are surrounded by wicked people. Damnak said. That is true, but if a king is angry, he must be flattered. His friend should be considered a friend, his enemy an enemy, and his presence should be appreciated. In this way, he can be won over without magic. Katak said, if that's the case, then it's up to you. May God protect you. Dhamnak bowed, took leave of Katak, and then went straight to the king. As soon as Pinglak saw Dhamnak coming, he said to his guard, let Dhamnak, the son of my former minister, come in without any hindrance. When Dhamnak arrived, Pinglak spoke kindly to him. He asked, are you happy? Why have you come to see me after such a long time? Dhamnak replied, Your Majesty, although my master has no particular work for me, yet I must still offer my services when the occasion demands. The king needs all three types of people, high, middle, and low. And they say if the king needs a little stick to pick his ear or tooth, how much more does he need a man who has hands and the power of speech? Although we were always with you as your servants, even followed you in bad times, yet our jobs were taken away from us. That was unjust on your part, and I blame you, not the man who replaced us. For a king who does not understand the difference between glass and diamonds does not deserve to be served. For how can a person of intelligence remain even for a moment in a place where men are unable to differentiate between right or wrong? And conversely, the servant who deserves to serve is the man who, when honored, remains humble, when insulted, keeps a scowl from his face, and thus remains equally detached from honor and insult. For kings and servants mutually depend on each other. There can be no king without a servant, and no servant without a king. When a king is pleased, he gives to his servants gold in abundance, and they, in return for such honor, sacrifice themselves to him. It is unbefitting that you should think us inferior just because we are jackals for. Silk comes out of the worm, gold out of the rocks, the lotus from filth, fire from a piece of wood, and the gem from the hood of the cobra. Damnak continued. So too, virtue can come out of people humbly born. Pinglak said, it makes no difference whether you are high or low. You are the son of my former minister. So if you have anything to say it without hesitation. Namnak said, Master, indeed I have something to say. Pinglak said, well then, tell me. Namnak said, but I must tell you in confidence. What is hid by 6 years can never remain secret, and so a wise man should not allow his secrets to reach 6 years. The tiger, the wolves, and the other understood the sign that Pinglak made in response to this and went away. Then Damnak said to the king, you went to the river to drink water, but you returned without doing so. Why was that? Oh, for no particular reason, answered Pinglak with a smile. If it's something that you cannot talk about, then so be it, said Dhamnak. For there are some things that you can tell to wives, some to sons, some to the family, but you can't tell everything to everybody. When he heard this, Pinglak thought to himself, the fellow seems deserving enough. I'll take him into my confidence, for when a man can share his sorrow with a trusted friend or a devoted servant, a kind master or a faithful wife, that man finds relief. So Pinglak asked Dhamnak, can you hear that terrifying noise in the distance? Dhamnak replied, yes, I can. What of it? Pinglak said, My friend, I want to get away from this jungle, Thamnak asked. Whatever for? Pinglak replied. Because some monstrous animal has come here and it is he who makes this loud noise. Probably he is as strong as his voice is loud. You mean that it's just a noise you are afraid of? Exclaimed Damnak. That's not right. For generations, this jungle has belonged to you. It would be wrong for you to leave it suddenly like that. Besides, there are all kinds of noises made by drums, conches, veena, and so on. So you should never be afraid of a mere noise for. When the hungry jackal conquered his fear of a noise, he found food. How was that? Pinglak asked Pinglak, and Dhamnak told. So, what Damnak told to Pinglak, I'll tell you in my next video. Till then, keep listening beautiful stories and keep smiling.